Good afternoon, and thanks for watching the Market Day Report. I'm Janet Atkinson. Daylight savings time first began in the United States a century ago. Now Florida would like to make it permanent. SoutheastProduceWeekly.com's Chip Carter reports on the state's proposed Sunshine Protection Act.
Last week, the Florida Legislature sent Governor Rick Scott a bill that would put the state on permanent daylight savings time. We're here in Plant City, right in the middle of the state and a center of agriculture. We talked to people about how that change might impact the industry. I'm with Kenneth Parker. He's the executive director of the Florida Strawberry Growers Association. But Kenneth, you got your finger in a lot of agricultural pots in this state. How is this daylight savings proposal? How would this impact agriculture here in Florida?
Well, Chip, I can speak first about strawberries, and I've talked to a lot of people about how it will affect them. Some of my friends love daylight savings time because they can maybe play a little longer in the evenings. But when it comes to the productivity of harvesting strawberries, we need to harvest when the pulp temperature is cooler. So the more hours we have early to work harvesting, it would be best for strawberries. It certainly is going to have an impact. We just don't know how big of an impact it's going to have.
I think the biggest effects would be on the trucking end of our industry. Obviously, with e-logs now, time is at a premium. If you can afford to put 2 truck drivers in your truck, which not many can do, then the hours don't mean as much. But from the farming standpoint, farmers are going to do what they've done for many decades. They're probably the most resilient, adaptable people on this planet. And if we never had daylight savings time to begin with, nobody would ever know the difference, and farmers would do things the way they've always done them anyway. So I think the effect is going to be more on the trucking end of our industry that's going to be affected the most.
We're with Gary Wishnatt. Wish Farms is one of the largest berry producers in the nation, headquartered right here in Plant City. Gary, any ideas how permanent daylight savings time might impact your operations?
It's really hard to say how permanent will. I do know that the way it works now when the clock changes, it does cause us some problems, and it's sort of counterintuitive. You would think the extra hour of daylight means you would have more time to pick. However, what happens is that when the workers show up in the morning, they don't start until daybreak. So if daybreak's a little later, but they still have a tendency to quit at the same time. So we do actually lose an hour. So it could potentially have some impact on us.
Governor Scott still has to sign the bill. If he does, U.S. Congress will have to approve an exemption. If that happens, Florida will become the 3rd state off of the time change grid, joining Hawaii and Arizona. In Plant City, Florida, I'm Chip Carter from SoutheastProduceWeekly.com, reporting for RFD-TV.
Thank you, Chip. Well, other states are considering similar legislation, though none are quite as far along in the process as Florida. Log on to SoutheastProduceWeekly.com for the latest produce news.